Hey there, Start here. So we've got the advent of Purgatory Rush, the boss rush event, our latest content. I'm a little disappointed because it definitely doesn't seem like it's particularly challenging. At least, you know, take that with a grain of salt. I'm an old veteran, been playing this game for 8 years, and so you know, I definitely was hoping for something challenging along the lines of like the latest EXT series boss battles, like you know Kefka, Chaotic Darkness, Vlad, that type of thing. And frankly, this is not it. But you know, I guess it's more accessible for a wider audience. And you know, it is a permanent trial, so you don't have to worry about it, disappearing on you or anything like that. So you've got time if you're a newer player and you don't quite have the gear, you don't have the units to take this on. There is time. There is time to do that, so you don't have to sweat it too much. As you can see, I've done the first 3 already. So what the first 3 are basically, the 9 battles from the actual rush on the final chamber, just broken up into their three groups. So the INT version is the first 3 bosses. They're all very squishy, all very easy. The advanced version is the 3 middle bosses. Still fairly easy and squishy, but a little bit more difficult, right? And then the pro version is the final 3 bosses, which are technically the most difficult of the 3. And then the elite version is all of those mashed together in one big rush. So you see, I have not finished the elite one yet. I figured I'd do that with you guys here and now. So let's get in there and let's do it. The missions are make sure nobody dies. That one should be pretty easy. And then clear within 30 turns to get the last 2 missions. We're definitely going to do that. I'm expecting like a 25 or 26 turn clear here. You could definitely do it faster. I'm sure if you've got like a whaled out team, I'm sure someone's out there has done some ridiculous, speed clear that, with all the latest units and all that jazz. This one will hopefully be a more accessible clear to a wider variety of players. But yeah, we'll see. Let's get in there. So the sort of the first hurdle is finding a friend unit who's actually built for it. Fundamental Force is of course, a very strong damage dealer for trials like these. But finding one that's built for it can be difficult because Fundamental Force doesn't really... she doesn't have all the killers for this one that you really want. But if you do have friends that are built for it, look for Fundamental Forces that have Kokuryu Esper equipped, because then you know that they're built for Aquan killers, which the final boss is Leviathan, who is an Aquan, and that's probably the most important one. And so you've got Gert here. Gert's on my friend list. He's definitely got his built, being another content creator. If you don't know about him, please go check out his YouTube channel. I think he's actually streaming this right now, so it's kind of funny that I'm using his Fundamental Force. But his is built for it. If you need a friend Fundamental Force, definitely hit me up. Those of you that have been watching my videos lately with doing some of these trials, I'm more than happy to add you to my friends list. Just leave your ID number in the comments below. My Fundamental Force is built for the boss rush currently, and is in my Nemesis 1 slot. Just hit me up. Feel free to use my Fundamental Force to slay this one. I'm going to use Gert's here. I'll go ahead and show you the gear because there is no RNG involved in this fight. This thing is very straightforward, very simple. So I'm going to go ahead and show you all the gear now before we get to the fights. So just real quick, explain the team composition. So Vanilla is great here because she breaks... she's a great breaker, and she imperils all the elements that you want to imperil here, which are fire, lightning, and water. She imperils all of those, and she has imperil fields to all 3. So she is just fantastic, general use breaker, imperil field unit for that purpose. Wilhelm, obviously, here as a tank. He will be dealing a little bit of damage, but he's not really built for damage here. He's built more as a tank, as you'll see. Fundamental Force is really the one bringing all the damage. So Fundamental Force is bringing it, and she is built for it. Nicole is here for the water fights, and so we need a water imbue unit. So Nickel is here for the water imbue, also for buffs. He's got some other nice utility in his kit, and he does have Aquan killers, which are fantastic. So he'll be our Aquan killer for the party. Nora is here for our fire and lightning support. and also for some machine killer buffs. Fundamental Force takes care of her own human and dragon killers. So the only killer buff we don't have on the party is a bird killer, but that's okay. We don't need it. The only bird is Siren, and she's one of the initial bosses, so she's fairly squishy. As long as your Fundamental Force is built with bird killer in the kit, you should be fine. So let's go ahead and talk about the build. So Vanille here is built, everybody needs to have status, ailment immunity, death resist, and stop resist. And so we've got Hairpin of Purity for ailments, Vermilion Flag for death resist, Vanille Shoes, which is, that's her own TMR, does stop resist. Technically, you don't need the death resist for the party. If you can follow it exactly the way I'm going to do it, you technically don't need death resist, because the only boss that does AoE death is Chaotic Engine. But as you're going to see, the way that I do it, we're going to skip the AoE death completely, so you can actually get away with not building your team for death resist. But yeah, but in case you can't follow it exactly the way that I do it, having death resist is good for a backup. You notice she's got rune staff, so this is a craftable staff. It comes from like early on in season 1. You can craft this staff, and what it does is it gives her the magic ability Silence. That is specifically for Siren. We are going to use that to basically gimp Siren, so that she does not do her Mirage and does not do her 300% attack and mag break on the party. She's also our passive provoke and evade unit, so perfect provocation, and then just use everything you need to make her 100% evasion. I gave her this card just so she never runs out of MP. You can use whatever vision card you want. I just wanted to make sure she had plenty of MP to get through all 9 waves. All right, Wilhelm, speaking of MP, he's got the Prophet's Diadem, so that he has more MP, and it has MP reduction on it, because he might need that more than anybody, just because he might use his Barja skills pretty frequently, either for the elemental buffs or for LB fill, and those cost like 500 MP each, so having some MP reduction and some extra MP on top of that really helps. Swordsman's Cuirass of Will is nice for the death, charm, and stop resist, so that takes care of all of those all in one. You can also use the Swordsman's. Either one works just fine. Magister's Ring for the Chain Cat boost, but most importantly for the Spirit, just to give him some more Spirit. Spirit Tiger Mask is there for the HP. And then, yeah, lots of HP and lots of water resist. Now, he's got a pretty good spread of resists all around, and he basically covers all the elements that you want him to cover innately, either through Barja skills or through his preemptive Bar Winja. So the elements he's going to be experiencing are fire, ice, lightning, water, and wind. Those are most of the elements. I think he's also going to get a bit of earth, but against Kokuryu, but that's pretty much it. And he pretty much is resistant to or has buffs for almost all of those except for water. And so you want to make sure you just kind of focus a lot on his water resist. You notice he's 350% water resist. That's for Leviathan. You want to make sure he's got a lot of water resist for Leviathan. All right, so this is what I used to get all of that. Sacred Shield vision card, still the best vision card for him as to make him a magic tank, essentially, with his Omni cover. If you don't have it, go get it from the VC Select shop. I highly recommend it for your Wilhelm. All right, so when I said he's not built for damage, you can see I haven't maxed out his killers. He does have Omni killers, and he has Bahamut Esper, so he's got 250 at least to everything, 300 to human, but he's only got 200% LB damage. So I'm really not building him so much for the damage here. You could probably, I would say you could probably give him a bit more LB damage and build him more for physical damage if you wanted to. Also, EX3 Wilhelm, not necessary at all. Don't need EX3 Wilhelm. EX1 or 2 will be fine. You will do just fine with those. So don't sweat not having an EX3 Wilhelm here. Fundamental Force, just built with maximum attack, lots of clash gear, of course. Kirasame's Cape for death resist, but if you can follow the clear the way that I do it, you don't need that, so you can honestly make yours even, you can give her even more attack if you want. Nomad's Ring is fantastic because it has 100% bird and Aquan killer. Fantastic. So if you can craft this ring, or if you've made it already and you just want to swap it over, definitely do it. It's awesome for this trial. Mechanic for the Royal Family is great for the Machine Killers. Black Submarine is good for Aquan and Machine. Final Stand is good for Bird and Machine. And then Machine Killer from Vortex of the Past is great. And then Wilhelm's Vision card, if yours is EX3. If not, just put the best card you have on her. I will note that Wilhelm's card comes with some extra Bird Killer, which is great. Okay, so she's 200% to Bird, 300 Aquatic, 300 Human, 300 Machine, 300 Dragon, and that's all you need, and that will get the job done. And this is how mine is built on my friends list. So like I said, send me a request if you want to use this fundamental force to take down this boss rush. She's ready to go. Just let me know. Leave your number in the comments below. All right, Nickel here. Again, Hairpin of Purity for ailment resist, Vanille Shoes for stop resist, Vermilion Flag for death resist. He's got his own STMR, Abyss's Staff is whatever, and then just give him some MP, Bahamut Synergies to make sure that he's always filling the Esper gauge, and then Practice Session again for MP, and he's just synced like that in both forms. Okay, Nora, again, Kryl Scrunchie for ailment resist, Kurosami's Cape for death resist, Void Mage Attire for stop resist, so she's taken care of there. Other than that, she's not built for damage at all because she doesn't get the leader skill. She does get Wilhelm's Overdrive, but she's really not here for damage. She's just here for support, and that's pretty much it. So I didn't even bother building her for killers or anything like that. Let's see, Gert has built his. He's got Hero's Amulet, so that's for the Machine Killer. To make sure his is maxed out on Machine Killer. Kurosami's Cape for death resist. Sea Serpent Slayer, that's great for Aquan Killers there. If you pulled a Blood Mage Cyrus, I did not. Black Submarine, again, you've seen those. Final Stand and Vortex of the Past. He's got Hio's card, that's perfectly fine. So his killers are only 50% Bird, but as you're going to see, it's fine. We don't need it. Okay, we really don't need the Bird Killer to take down Siren, but it helps, if you're just like barely beating her or anything like that. But he's still got 300 Aquan, 300 Human, 300 Machine, 300 Dragon. Those are the ones that matter. So great. Thank you so much, Gert. Fantastic. Let's get in here and see how we get this one all missions cleared. All right, so Kylma is fire. So just like in all of the Grace trials, each of these bosses comes with their respective global field that matches their element. So in this case, it's fire. So in this case, Nora is just going to do Infira. All right, one of the fundamental forces will do Prismatic Field to go ahead and put up the field. Hercules and Hypernova. Mine will just do Inferno Nova. Hercules, Hypernova. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and set up here. We're going to do Safeguard Siege and Barfire Raja. Okay, Vanille is going to, on this turn, she can just do Fissure Field. That's all she really needs to do. Nickel can honestly just guard this turn. Okay. All right, there you go. So she does have, she did put up some Mirage stacks. That's fine. We're going to get rid of those thanks to Nicole. She also did a full break on us. Nicole will also do that. One of the cool things about Nicole and his utility is that his normal form LB does a perfect dispel on the enemies and a perfect dispel on all allies, meaning it gets rid of all of our enfeeblements. So by doing that, it gets rid of Kylma's Mirage and gets rid of our breaks, which is fantastic. Now Vanille can just do her LB, which does the breaks and the imperils, and everybody else just does their LB, and this should absolutely bury Kylma. Okay, massive overkill. All right, so this boss is lightning element, so we're going to switch over to lightning. This is where Nora comes in handy, so in Thundaga, Esoteric Lightning, and Conqueror of Machines for the Machine Killer. We're going to go ahead and kill this boss right away. On turn 1, Vanille will just go ahead and do her LB. Nickel will just do his LB. And we're just going to murder this boss. Alright, so let's do it. Okay, once again, massive overkill. Alright, so now we're going to move on to Siren, who is kind of like the quote-unquote tricky one of the first 3 bosses. Okay, so she's going to start by putting up 5 stacks of Mirage, and she will do that every single turn unless you silence her, which we are going to do with Vanille. So she's going to use Silence, which she gets from that rune staff that we gave her. Okay, so she's going to use Silence on... Alright, so she has been silenced. Perfect. Alright, Nickel is just going to do... He's going to imbue everybody. He's going to do Elemental Power Water on my Fundamental Force. And then we'll do a Sharp Kick just to go ahead and get rid of one of those stacks of Mirage. So we want to make sure that we go ahead and get rid of the first... Because she does that preemptively, so let's go ahead and get rid of all those Mirage stacks anyways. Wilhelm is just going to do Safeguard, Siege, and... doesn't really matter what he does. We'll do Shelga. Actually, he doesn't need that because she's not going to do any magic attacks because she's silenced. So, I don't know what he could do. We could just do, like, Limitless Surge just so he's got, like, you know, so we make sure that we kill the boss, maybe. Alright, what we're going to do, we'll just do another Prismatic Field just to re-up it. You know, any chance you get, you might as well do it. Nebulous and Hypernova. Mine is just going to do Hypernova because that's all we really need. Alright, and you'll see, since we've silenced her, it's going to seal her song. Siren's song has been sealed. So now she just does some physical damage. Alright, she does not do any more Mirage. And she does not do the 300% attack and mag break to the party. So we don't have to worry about that at all. Alright, Nickel's going to shift now and do his Brave Shifted LB. Okay. Just double checking myself. Trying to think who's next. Just to make sure I haven't... Yeah, no, that should be fine. Yep. Okay. So we'll do a Brave Shifted LB here. Okay. Vanille will do her SLB. Nora can go ahead and do her SLB. Why not? Alright, and then we're just going to do LB, LB, LB. Okay. And we should be good to go. This should murder her right nice. Boom. Okay, easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. All right, so now we've moved to the sort of middle of the pack bosses. They're all still pretty squishy. It's not until you get to like the later stage bosses that it's going to start taking more than, 2 turns to kill them. Okay, so we are going to do a quick setup. So this is a fire boss, so we'll do Inferno Nova, Hercules, Heavenly. Alright, again, Inferno Nova, Hercules, and Hypernova. We'll just do an Infira. Wilhelm will do Safeguard, Siege, and Bar Fire Raja. Nickel can honestly just... he doesn't really need to do anything on this turn. He can do his LB, I guess. Sure. Alright, Vanille is going to... What is she going to do? I guess she can just do her LB too. Yeah, why not? Let's just do her LB as well. Okay. And that should be good to go. Okay. Alright, Wilhelm should resist all of this magic. I think it's fire and... I'm not sure what Apocalypse is, actually. Well, whatever it was, he didn't resist it fully, but that's all right. Not too worried about it. As you can see, it did practically 0 damage to him. All right, and we should be good for another murder fest here. So let's just get it done. Okay. All right, now Kokuryu, oh, no, we're not there yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. So yeah, this guy. So this guy's not particularly difficult. There's a chance we actually kill him on turn 1. But what you really want to do is you want to make sure you at least push the 50% threshold, or else he's going to dispel you on the first turn. So that's really the only kind of critical thing that you do on turn 1 is make sure you push 50% so that you don't get dispelled. So we'll do Inthandaga, Esoteric, Lightning, and Conqueror of Machines. Very similar to what we did against the machine boss a couple of rounds ago. All right, Nickel will just do his LB. And yeah, we'll just do LB, LB, LB. We don't have to worry about covering damage because, you know, Wilhelm does an Omni cover preemptively. So he'll cover everything the boss does anyways. All right, perfect. Okay. So we've done our job turn 1, all right, which is, like I said, to just push 50% so we avoid the dispel. Okay, Wilhelm will do some LB fill. All right, we'll have him use his bar just skills. Okay, if your Vanille happens to be EX3, so that she could use her SLB on the previous turn, you probably would even kill it on turn 1, to be honest with you. All right, so we're just gonna fill up. Okay, and just reload and send the fundamental forces again. All right. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. All right, now Kokuryu. Kokuryu is a little tricky. He's not particularly difficult to kill. He's very squishy. But he has a few tricks up his sleeve that just make him kind of annoying. He's got HP locks. He reduces petrify resistance to the party, so you have to make sure you have a petrify resistance buff. So that's why we have Lakshmi Esper on our Vanille for the stone resist buff. All right, because he will try to petrify your party like almost every turn. So it's good to have that ready to go. All right, Nickel is going to just do, honestly, all he needs to do here is water infusion just to imbue everybody. Nora can just go ahead and do her SLB for the mod boost. Wilhelm is going to safeguard siege, and we'll just do Shelga. Okay. The fundamental forces will, well, one of them can just do prismatic, nebulous, and heavenly. The other one can just do heavenly hypernova. We honestly don't care because you know, we're going water on this one anyways, so that's all that really matters. Okay. Okay, yeah, so there is some earth damage there, but it's, yeah, as you can see, it does like practically nothing to Wilhelm. It doesn't even eat through his barrier, so no problem there. All right, so we're gonna push the HP lock, which is, I think it's at 25% here. All right, go ahead and send Vanille's SLB. And yeah, so we'll hit the 25% HP lock. He'll then heal 50%, and he's gonna do a berserk on Vanille because she's our provoke unit, and that's fine. Like, you know, Vanille's done her job, so we honestly don't care. Nickel can just do, and believe it or not, Nickel can actually get rid of her. Berserk with his LB, which is kind of nice. We're gonna do Elemental Power Water on Fundamental Force. I did forget to do the dragon killers on my fundamental forces, didn't I? Hopefully that doesn't matter. I don't think it will. I totally forgot to do the dragon killers on them. Okay. I guess we'll find out if it matters. I hope not, because then I'll have to go and redo all this. Probably doesn't. All right, let's see how we go. Yeah, no, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter at all. Alright, so he does the Shadow Dragon Roll, puts up an attack and mag buff. He berserks Vanille, that's fine. Alright, Vanille's just going to shoot him up. Well done. Alright, we're going to shift. Okay, and we're going to do True Enhancing Stance to do some LB fill. We'll just do, I guess, another water infusion. Why not? And, oh, another water infusion. Okay. And then we'll use Wilhelm to fill up the rest. Doesn't really matter which ones he does. Barfire Raja. And yeah, that should be good enough, I think. All right, you shouldn't need to do. I would just go ahead and do 3 just to be safe. All right, and we'll even let Nora get in on the action here, and this should kill the boss without issue. His barrier is only like 100 million or something like that, so we're gonna eat through that immediately. Okay. There you go, 3 turns against Kokuryu. If I had remembered to do the dragon killers, that would not have been nearly as close. Don't forget to do dragon killer on turn 1 with your fundamental forces. I can't believe I forgot to do the dragon killer. That's so funny. All right. So yeah, we've got so with Omega. There's no way I with this team, there's no way I can do a first turn kill. So we're basically just going to go ahead and say, yep, we're done. We know we know it's going to have to be a 5-turn clear because of the Mighty Guard. And that's just, it is what it is. What we will do is we'll go ahead and we'll do a little chunk of damage here because we might as well. Okay. Yeah, Nickel can just go ahead and do his LB. We'll do something, all right. I'm not going to use the machine killer because we're going to get it dispelled, and we don't want to have that dispelled on us. But we will imbue ourselves with fire, and then we'll just do breaks and buffs, and we'll do some LB damage here. This probably won't even push 50%, but that's honestly fine. It's just to do a bit of chip damage, so you don't have quite as much to chew through on turn 5 when you do your final burst. Yeah, and that's fine, because the boss will heal. He'll do like a 10% heal, I think, on turn 4. So that means we just have to do 72% of his health, which is fine. So now, unfortunately, he's got Mighty Guard up for the next 3 turns. So we just have to twiddle our thumbs. It's a bit annoying, but it is what it is. So Safeguard, Siege. And we'll do Barfire Raja for the fire damage, and yeah, everyone else can literally just guard from here on out. We're just going to guard. I don't think we need to worry about anything else. Yeah, no, we don't have to worry about anything else there. All right, and Wilhelm's just going to tank everything without any issues. All right. Yeah, so those single target physicals there avoid cover, which is fine. Alrighty. Now let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna do Wilhelm's LB just because we're gonna get dispelled this turn, so he needs to re-up his Omni cover. So I'm just gonna go ahead and have him send his LB. Nora can go ahead and do her SLB for the mod boost because it's undispellable, so that's fine. And everyone else can just guard again. All right, there's the dispelling beam. No problem. We're just going to re-up our cover. All right, Vanille can go ahead and do her SLB now. All right, Nickel is just going to guard. And we're going to set up for our big burst next turn. It should be, yep. Okay. And so we'll do Prismatic, Inferno, and Heavenly. Okay, Inferno, Heavenly, Nebulous, why not? Nora can do Infira, Esoteric Flames, and Conqueror of Machines. Wilhelm will do his Safeguard again, and then he can just do... he'll do a Barfire Raja maybe, and then maybe like a Transfusing just to make sure his LB gets filled up. All right, so there's the 10% heal. And it looked like it was 2 billion, so that means he has 20 billion HP total. All right, we're probably gonna do over that on this burst, but this just makes it more comfortable for you. All right, we're not gonna use the overdrive. Sorry about that. That's the problem with having an open window. All right, so we should be all good to go here. I'm just double checking myself. Yeah, all right, and we should not need the overdrive here. All right, we're gonna save that for the next fight so that we can do the next fight in 2 turns. I see my my final fantasies. My fundamental forces have poison. I don't like that, so let's use Vanille to use Asuna on them, and then let's just put up another fissure field. Why not? All right, Nickel can honestly just sit and twiddle his thumbs. We don't need to worry about anything there, and we should be good to go. All right, all the mitigations are gone. Let's rock this. Too easy. So if we did 20 billion here, then that means we could have killed from 100% on this turn anyways. But like I said, doing that chip damage on turn 1 helped. Yeah, 27, wow, okay. All right, so Chaotic Engine. So this is the only boss that does AoE death. However, if you can push the 50% threshold on turn 1, you will get a chance to kill the boss on turn 2 without getting dispelled, okay? And that's what we are going to attempt to do here. So we're going to do Enthundaga, Esoteric, and Conqueror of Machines, okay? Vanille is actually going to this is why we've been saving Quaking Engine. We've been saving it for this turn. Quaking Engine, which does the 89% breaks and the 150 imperils. Fissure Field, and then honestly, doesn't matter what she does next. Just like Imperil Go or something. That's fine. All right, Nicole can do his LB, LB, LB. We are going to use Overdrive here to make sure that we push the 50% threshold. Okay, so we should be good to go. Yep, looking good. This is a lightning round, so let's do it. All right, we just got to push 50%. That's all we got to do. Perfect. Okay, so the boss is going to do 3 casts of Meteor. All right, which Wilhelm should tank just fine with his Omni cover. All right, and now we basically just set up and go again. Okay, Nora can even do her SLB for the mod boost. Wilhelm is just going to do boop, boop, boom. Barfire Raja, Barfire Raja, Barfire Raja. Okay, to finish filling up the fundamental forces. If you are concerned at all about Wilhelm's HP, you can have Vanille go ahead and do summon, what's her name? Lakshmi for the heals, and that heals him right up. So then we just reload and repeat, and this guy is going down. Okay, now the big boy, the big bad boy, we've got Leviathan. So the trick with Leviathan is he puts up mitigation every turn, unless you hit him with ice. Now you have to hit him with ice element 4 turns in a row before he finally stops putting up the big mitigation. So it's kind of a pain. It's a real pain in the butt. To add insult to injury, he has a 50% HP lock. So it's like the quickest you can kill this guy is, I think, turn 6. And that's what we're going to aim for. We're going to shoot for a 6-turn knockout here. We'll see how we do. Now, I gave... this is why Nickel has... what's her name? Shiva Esper, so that he has some form of ice magic. All right, so he's just going to cast that on her for 4 turns in a row. And that's all he's got to do. All right, Vanille, honestly, we'll just do Fissure Field. Oh, actually, no, sorry. I'm glad I didn't forget. So much like Kokuryu, Leviathan reduces your stone resistance. So we gotta make sure we bump up our stone resistance. Thank God I did not forget that. That would have ruined my entire clear and wasted like half an hour of recording. So glad I did not forget to do that. All right, everyone else can kind of just twiddle their thumbs. Of course, we'll have Wilhelm tank everything. He'll do Safeguard, Siege, and Bar Blizzage, because Leviathan does lots of ice and water damage. So he's got lots of water resistance already, and the Bar Blizzage just makes sure he takes no ice damage. Okay, and yeah, so everyone else can just sit and guard. All right, we don't have to worry about anything here. All right, so you'll see at the top it'll say the wall of water has frozen. All right, so that's the first instance of using ice. Okay, we'll have Wilhelm do his LB here, just to re-up his Omni cover, to recharge it. Okay, and then I'm just going to hit reload and repeat. I'm going to have Vanille go ahead and do another stone resistance buff, because we might as well. Okay, that way we're covered. Nickel's going to do ice damage again, so that we're covered. Okay, wall of water has frozen again. All right, and eventually the wall of water is going to break. The frozen wall of water will break. And then we can start dealing damage. Okay. All right. So Wilhelm here is going to let's see. How many turns does he have left on that? Oh, is his cover already gone? Oh, it must have been dispelled. Yeah, okay. All right, that's why I did that. So Safeguard, let's do Blizzaja and Shelga. All right, Nickel on this turn. Oh, what am I thinking? Nickel's just going to keep doing Blizzara. Duh. All right, Vanille. La-di-da. Vanille can just sit back. We don't have to worry about doing the stone resistance buff again, I don't think. Well, let's do it anyways. Let's just do it. All right, we can't deal damage to this guy until turn 5, so. All right, Nora can do her SLB for the mod boost, because that's undispellable, so might as well. Yeah, and then we'll just continue guarding. We're going to set up our fundamental forces next turn. Okay. Alrighty, so now we can set up for Big Boy Burst. We don't need to worry about Prismatic Field. Actually, we don't need to worry about much of anything here. We'll just do Nebulous, Heavenly, and Limitless Surge Plus, because our LB buffs cannot be dispelled. Unfortunately, so the boss is going to dispel us on this turn, which, you know, is a bit of a pain in the butt, but, you know, it is what it is. We work around it. La-di-da. Yeah, we'll just do Nebulous, Heavenly, Limitless Surge Plus. Nora doesn't have to do anything on this turn, really. She can just guard. Wilhelm will do... Yeah, Wilhelm will go ahead and do his LB because we're going to need to re-up his Omni cover next turn. Nickel can do Elemental Power Water on mine. Wait, no, we don't want to do that yet. What am I thinking? We're going to do that next turn. He just needs to do Blizzara again, so let's bring him back. Just pretend like I don't know what I'm doing here, which should be easy to do because sometimes I feel like I don't. Okay. All right, so just Blizzara. We'll have Vanille go ahead and do her her SLB here. Wilhelm does his LB to re-up, to recharge his cover, and we go ahead and set up our fundamental forces. So that's the fourth time hitting with ice, so that the dam is going to break. Wilhelm will cover everything without issue. All right, we've still got our paralyzed resistance buff up, so we're good. All right, there's Nihility, which is the dispel. Okay. But our LB buffs are undispellable, and you know, Fundamental Force does a 400% stat buff with their LB, so that's perfectly fine. So all we have to do is 50% HP damage here to hit the HP lock, which we should be able to do. So we're going to do Elemental Power Water on Fundamental Force. Oh, no, sorry, now we're going to shift. Now we are going to shift. True Water Infusion, Elemental Power Water on my Fundamental Force. I'm going to save Aquatic Slayer. Actually, no, let's go ahead and do it. So I'm going to use Aquatic Slayer because mine's EX3. It's not necessary, though. You can do Water God's Rage as a 100%. In fact, you know what? I'll just do Water God's Rage. You know what? I'll do it to show you that you don't have to have Aquatic Slayer. You know, in case someone says, oh, you have Aquatic Slayer. Oh, I don't have that. You EX3, you whale. So I don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to use the 100% killer buff, and just to show you that is more than enough. Okay. So, yep, we're good there. Bop, bop. Nora can join in on the fun. Wilhelm is going to have to re-up his cover. So we'll do Safeguard. We will do... we'll do Bar Blizzaja. And we'll do Limitless Surge so that he can do his LB next turn. So hopefully we can get that off next turn. Vanille can honestly just... we'll do another stone resistance because we have been dispelled, so we want to make sure we re-up our stone resistance buff. Okay, Wilhelm can do that. All right, and let's send our... we just got to hit 50%. That's all we got to do. Let's do it. Too easy. We hit 50% before we even hit the last hit. Okay. All right, so that looked like a party dispel, but all it did was it removed our water resistance buffs, which we don't have any anyways, so that's fine. So we don't worry, we haven't been dispelled or anything like that. We still have our water imbue, all of our buffs, all that jazz. All right, so we are good to go here. Nora can do her SLB for the mod boost. Nickel can do, I guess he can just do his LB. Why not, for the extra water buff. Wilhelm does his overdrive. Oh, no. Sorry, what am I thinking? Nickel has to do enhancing stone, or enhancing stance, sorry, to refill the LBs of the fundamental forces. Yep. So that's what he's got to do. Glad I remembered that. Okay. And then, yeah, we just have to do another 50%, which should be very easy. From here, we just did, you know, we just hit the 50% easily, so this should definitely kill the boss. All right, there you go. One boss rush down on day one. Exactly what I did not want. I wanted a challenge, Gumi. I wanted a challenge. Come on. You're killing me here. But it is what it is. You know, I'll try some different teams. You know, I'll try some teams that are a bit more challenging, and we'll just kind of, you know, we'll go from there. So, yep, there we go. There's your all mission. Let's check out the damage. Whoa, we're doing over 100 billion. So, as you can see, the Wilhelm, not there for damage. Not there for damage. Like, his damage is inconsequential. This is all fundamental force here. So, if you have an EX1 Wilhelm, that's perfectly fine. But yeah, look at that. 100 billion damage, guys. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Thank you so much, Gert. Awesome fundamental force. Like I said, if you need a fundamental force, let me know. Drop a line in the comments below. I'll be happy to add you. So let's see that all missions clear. Make sure we got it, and we did. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for following me. Hopefully this was entertaining. Hopefully it was helpful. Go get your boss rush completed. Go get that lapis, and yeah, thank you for following me. I will see you on the other side.